Alright, so I'm Mary Sue Bailey here for lesson number 4 of my Fundamental Piano Skills series. Who knows where this will go? Might become a YouTube sensation. Probably not. Last lesson, on lesson number 3, we talked about the order of sharps. And I've got it right here, just kind of as a review. It is fat cats go dancing after eating birds, and those are the sharps. You know, the key that has one sharp is G. If you can see that, there it is. So you start on G, G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. So when you play it, I always forget to do that. G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. So instead of playing the F natural, which is the white key, you play the F sharp. The key of D, if you wrote this down, you should be able to look at your chart. Key of D has two sharps, F sharp and C sharp. We're just adding from this little phrase down here. Key of D, so you play D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp. There's F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D. And let's do one more example and then we'll get on the flats. A, you know, you go through it, A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A. So, all the way down here. There's the C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G, A. Alright, so it goes on down through there and you end up with 7 sharps all together. So you end up with all of your keys sharped. Some of these are actually white keys. Like B sharp is actually C. So E sharp is actually F. So when you're playing it, you will have some white keys in that scale. C sharp, D sharp, E sharp, which there's E sharp, F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, B sharp, there's B sharp. I know it's C, but in this scale we call it B sharp. And then there's your C sharp. Alright, just a quick little review. I know this can be confusing the first time you hear it or see it, so just wanted to go over it one more time before we get on to the flats. Now, you'll notice in a previous video, I may have said this, I may not have, we have 12 keys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Then it starts over at C. So you're probably thinking, oh, there's 12 major scales. And technically you would be right. However, there are technically 15 because the maximum number of sharps you can have is 7. So there's the 7 sharp keys. C is neutral, and the 7 sharp keys, well, it goes the opposite way with flats. The maximum number of flats that you can have in a scale is 7 as well. So there are 7 other key signatures that we're going to go over today. So there's the 7 sharp, and then there's the 7 flat, and then the key of C, which is neutral. So you end up with 15 major scales. Some of these overlap. Like the key of B on the sharp side is the same as C flat on the flat side. The key of F sharp on the sharp side is the same as the key of G flat. The key of C sharp on the sharp side is the same as D flat. So where this is 5 sharps, fat cats go dancing after This one's 6 sharps. Fat cats go dancing after eating. And then this one's 7 sharps. Fat cats go dancing after eating birds. It has all of them. This one is actually 5 flats. This one is 6 flats. I had to stop and think for a second. This one is actually 7 flats. So, if you look at this, there's C sharp, C flat, and C. These are all white. These are all natural. That's a natural sign right there. It's kind of a funky square looking thing. I maybe made that too long. These are all flat, and these are all sharp. So 7, 7, and 7 sharp. 7 and 7, sharp and flat. Nothing. Okay, so I don't know if that's significant for anybody, but that's just kind of how I remember that these are backwards. Like this 6 goes together. This is actually the same note. 6 sharps, 6 flats. All the letter names change, but it's the same notes. These go together, and then these go together. Okay, so the system with flats works very similarly to sharps. And we remember that the order of sharps is fat cats go dancing after eating birds. The order of flats is actually backwards. Oh, I'm a little out of focus. It's a little blurry. It is not your eyes, it's my camera. Order of flats. And the order of flats is backwards. So if we go fat cats go dancing after eating birds. That's the order of flats. That's how they show up in the scales. So we had all these keys and it kind of looked like this. And I had all the sharps. And C was there at the top. And C had 0. Okay, remember G had 1 sharp, and these from here to here, they're 7 half steps apart. Well, if we go backwards in that circle, and we count down 7 half steps, so we don't count the C, not counting the C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we get down to F, and that is actually the key with 1 flat. Okay, if we count down 7 more, I'm actually going to go, I want to go from this F. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, the names of these keys, you might say, well, that's A sharp. Well, we can't have sharp notes in the same scale as the scale with flat notes. So we have to call this B flat. We cannot call it A sharp and it be considered a B flat scale. It can't be considered a flat scale if it has sharps in it. So we're going to call it B flat instead of A sharp. We're going to count down 7 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Can't call it the sharp name, so we're going to call it E flat. If we count down 7 from there, we get A flat. You can trust me on that. I'll actually turn this down. A flat. It has 4 flats. G flat is 7 down from that. There's all 7 half steps apart. Let's see here. G flat and then C flat. So it ended up looking like this. Here's the order. 1 flat, B flat. So you start on F, you play up the keyboard, and you get to B. You don't play B, you play B flat instead. So we start on F, F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E, F. So that's the key of F right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 notes. B flat. You start on B flat, you play the 2 flats that are in the order, so you have B flat and E flat. And it goes on up, all of these scales, like all the sharp scales have an F sharp in them, all the flat scales have a B flat in them. B flat, E, most of them have E. This one's 3, so you add the next one. This one's 4, so add D. This one's 5 flats, so you add the G flat. And it looks a lot like our other chart from the last lesson. D. Except my handwriting's not as good. Flat. Oh, good grief. I do that every time. C, F. So, you know, you can end up with this little line. You know, if you wanted to see the whole thing, here's with the sharps. So you end up with fat cats go dancing after eating birds. That's all 7. So okay, so it ends up looking like this. And all of these names right here are the only major scales there are. So there's 15 total. There is a key of G flat. There is not a key of G sharp. It's, you know, that would actually end up being A flat. The reason they did it like that is because if you start to do things like come up with a G sharp scale, things get really confusing, and as you can see, they don't need to be any more confusing. The only letter that shows up 3 times is C. There's F. It is actually a flat key. All of these above F are flat keys. All of these below C, or actually below G, are sharp keys. The way I don't know, I guess I've played piano for about 20 years. 22 years, wow, 22. I think I just kind of memorized them on the way. I never really picked up on this pattern until probably high school when I took AP Theory. But if you just remember it like this, anything with a flat, it's pretty obvious. It's a flat key. You use the order of flats with it, with the exception of F. Okay, the only other option for F is F sharp. So that has to be a sharp key. So this has to be a flat key. Okay. This C is neutral. Everything else is sharp. If you can remember that, you can very easily get through your keys. Hopefully this has been understandable for people. It's kind of confusing. This is something beginning theory students in college, if you don't get this concept, you're just not going to make it. You have to understand how these 15 keys work in order to understand chords, in order to understand how chords relate to each other. It makes life just a lot easier if you can play scales and you know which black keys to play. Let's do a little quiz. First off, without looking at your little chart, hopefully everybody, maybe I should type this up and put it on something. But without looking, I'm going to give you about 4 seconds to determine whether a scale name I give you is a sharp scale or a flat scale. And what I mean by that is, do you follow the order of sharps or do you follow the order of flats to figure out which black keys you play? I'm going to do this. Sharp or flat. And let's do 5. That's probably good. Give you time to write that down. Hopefully people have a piece of paper. I always have trouble waving. Alright. The first key. How about the key of D? You just write down your answers, sharp sign or flat sign. Key of F is number 2. How about E flat for number 3? Gosh, everybody better get that one. How about C for number 4? Hint, hint, that could be a trick question. How about G flat for number 5? Okay, let's see here. I'd say that's good. If you have answered your little sharps and flats, I'm going to do the answers. Gosh, I hope people don't cheat. They know that I'm going to put the answers on the end of this video. If you said sharp for D, you would be right. If you said flat for F and E flat, you'd be correct. This is neither. It's neutral. It's nothing. No sharps, no flats. And G flat is obviously flat. If you have any questions, please comment below. I will gladly answer them. I like questions. They're good. If you missed all 5 of these, you might want to watch the video again and come up with a question. Maybe you're not understanding it. If you got them all right, just watch the video again. The more you're exposed to it, the better off you are. I had a theory professor in college. He was probably my best teacher in school ever. Out of all public school and college, he's hands down, man, he was just good. And he said that music is like a bucket and you are like a sponge. Sometimes when a sponge comes out of the water, it loses a little bit of water, but you can always dunk it back in the water. So just keep dunking yourself and repeating the information. You'll eventually get it. I remember in high school, I took theory and I struggled in it. I had piano for so long and had a great piano teacher. And then I went to high school and I had a great high school band director. And the high school band director was my theory teacher and she did a great job teaching it. It was just so new. It seemed so new to me that it was just extremely difficult to me for some reason. I always made B's and C's. Of course, that theory class helped me out a whole lot because when I went to college I always made A's. At least in theory 1. But the more you're exposed to it, the better off you are. So the more time you spend, good quality time at the piano, at the keyboard, exploring the keys and playing around with it, the better off you're going to be. So that's that. That's the end of lesson 4. Lesson 5, we're going to get on intervals. So be good at this and be ready to count a bunch of half steps. Alrighty, good luck.